Everybody, it's time for another daily drop here on TarHeelIllustrated.com. I'm THI publisher Andrew Jones, and the topic today, Carolina football, player meetings, and the crazy season that is now here as the regular season is over. Some schools have their conference championship games to play in, not the Tar Heels. Tar Heels were 6-0, number 10 in the country, and fell off a cliff, losing 4 of their last 5 ACC games, finishing 8-4, seventh place in the ACC with a 4-4 league mark. But the topic here is about the player meetings, what the staff hopes to accomplish, the kinds of conversations they're going to have with kids, and the importance of these meetings, because the transfer portal opens up formally December 4th, even though a lot of kids are already announcing that they're going to enter the portal. Graduates can do so now. Non-graduates have to wait until December 4th. And every school's going to lose kids. So Carolina fans, there's already several kids that have put their name out there. They've posted on social media that they're leaving, and Carolina fans are kind of freaking out, saying, well, here come the floodgates. This is what happens when you close the season poorly, but it's happening everywhere. It's happening everywhere. But specifically to Carolina, this is basically what the plan is for the week with Mack Brown and his assistant coaches. They played Saturday night. Team was off Sunday. The coaches got together, had a lot of meetings. They planned their conversations. There were a lot of things they had to iron out. And the one-on-one meetings / interviews with the players and their position coaches began Monday morning. Mack Brown on some of those meetings, having some conversations with kids. And basically, the question that each kid is asked is, are you happy? Are you happy here? Are you happy with your playing time? Are you happy with your progress? Are you happy with yourself academically and socially and everything else? Because there are a lot of factors that go into why kids stay and why kids leave. It's not always just football. And then from there, the intent is to have a transparent conversation where the coach is brutally honest with the kids, and the kids, they hope, are brutally honest with them. For example, let's say, Harvey Schmedlap. That's the name my dad used to always throw out when it wasn't a real person. So if there is a Harvey Schmedlap out there, I apologize. But anyway, so let's say Harvey Schmedlap is a third-string safety, and he thinks he should be on the field more. And his position coach is going to tell him, look, Harvey, here are the reasons why Johnny Smith and Billy Smith are in front of you. And here's what you need to do to leapfrog one or both of them to get on the field. But to be honest, I'm not sure that we see you doing that. We think that you've maxed out on your potential here. You're just not going to see the field on a regular basis unless there are injuries. You can help us in some special teams, etc. And maybe Harvey says, you know what? I totally disagree with you. I think I should be getting on the field a lot more. I'm good enough to play at this level. I'm going to go find another place. Or he agrees and says, you know what? I'm 45 hours away from graduating. I love it here. I got a girlfriend here. Or I'm just happy being a part of this program. If I can, stay on special teams and maybe get on the field every once in a while, I want to help this program continue to grow and win. Those conversations happen. They all kind of go along those lines, and some of the decisions for kids are made because coaches tell them, look, we'd love to see you to stay in the program, but you're not going to play. You're not going to see the field, but you're more than welcome to stay and remain a part of our program and help us to get better in the ways that you can. So as far as I know, they're not really pushing guys out the door, but I do think that there are things staffs can do to nudge some guys along and tell them, look, if you really want to play, you're better going somewhere else. And I think there's a difference in pushing a kid out, which is what some coaches do, making them uncomfortable or maybe distancing themselves from them. That's one way of doing it. And I don't think that's a healthy way of doing it. And maybe that used to happen more than now, because now you can just straight up tell a kid, you're not going to play. And they have an option to leave right away. They can do that if they haven't already transferred once. So I think being honest with kids and just saying, look, if you want to play college football, you're not going to do it here. You'll be in the program and you'll run out of the tunnel and you'll be on a scout team or you'll be third or fourth string, whatever it is, but you're not going to play meaningful snaps. We just don't see it happening. So then that often will encourage a kid, if they do want to get their education and play football somewhere else, that they're welcome to leave and there's no hard feelings. And the thing I think that Carolina does very well is they help kids find a new school. I don't know what other programs do because I have not covered any other program in the portal era because it's so new. But I do know for a fact that Carolina helps kids find a new school. Now, one of the interesting caveats to this that I don't know how the staff is going to handle, and I asked Mack Brown about this Saturday night in Raleigh after the loss to NC State. I said, what kind of conversations are you going to have with assistant coaches? Because it's pretty clear that there are some hard conversations that must be had. And a lot of kids are going to ask about their position coaches. Some might make decisions whether they stay or leave based on who's going to be their position coach. Because in recruiting, so often coaches are assigned regions, so there's a lead recruiter, but then the relationship really starts getting built with the position coach. And then Mack is the closer. He comes in to close the deal. And that's kind of how it works. So these kids are going to be in these meetings with their position coaches, and they may ask, are you going to be back? Or they may walk out of the meeting and go to Mack and say, is such and such going to be back? But all those questions cannot absolutely be answered right now because Mack said the time frame for him having discussions with his staff is probably the next month. Now, the dead period ends Friday. So the staff will get on the road and recruit. They're going to go to visit all of the kids who have committed for the class of 2024. Signing day is in 3 weeks. So they're going 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks. They're going to go meet with those kids, secure their signatures essentially. And then with the portal opening up, there will be a process in how they recruit the portal as well. So Mack said, hey, I'm going to be traveling around with all the different coaches. I'll be in a car all day with one guy, a car all day with another guy. And he said, that'll give us plenty of time to talk. It's not like they could open up the door and jump out. He's going to have them right there. And I guess a benefit to the assistant coaches is they'll have Mack, his undivided attention for quite some time, one-on-one, which they don't get very often, Mack said. So there are multiple prongs to this. The players' conversations are going on right now. And some of them are going to have open-ended questions that simply don't have a specific, certain, absolute answer, which is about their assistant coaches. And I know most of you watching right now, you're very interested about the players, but some might be more interested about what decisions Mack makes with respect to his staff. We are as well, because we believe that it's possible there will be some movement. And what movement happens, I can't say for sure right now. Nothing sourced as anything definitive or even worth mentioning here. So I'm not going to throw names or position groups or anything like that out there at you. But I would think that a full evaluation, which Mack actually said it was Saturday night, I think the quote was full evaluation, end quote, of the program has to be made because this hasn't gone the way it should have gone. So lots of stuff must be examined. First things first, players having their conversations with the coaches. You will see more Tar Heels enter the portal or announce they're going to enter the portal as the week goes on. And then, of course, December 4th, formally underclassmen, undergrads formally can enter the portal, put their information in there. And there might be a lot of kids that do so, but don't sweat it. It's happening everywhere. It's the way things are right now. And most are probably going to leave that weren't going to play a whole lot anyway. So it won't be a dramatic, it won't have a dramatic impact on the program. And what it does do is it frees some spots for them to go out and replace by moving up. They did that last year. I thought what they brought in was better than what left. Although some of the kids that left have played pretty well. Cam Kelly, for example, at Louisville's had a really good year. So anyway, that's the topic of today. It's going to be an interesting week. We don't have to cover a game this week, but there's a lot of stuff going on, of course, basketball. But football, when it comes portal time and meetings time, we kind of have to have this in hand at all times. Lots of notifications buzzing and beeping off constantly on the phone. So make sure you stick around TarHeelIllustrated.com. We have a thread specifically for Carolina players and the decisions that they're making. We have another thread specifically about the kids that Carolina will be talking to. And there are already some secondary conversations that have gone on. And in a week from now, a lot more of those conversations can happen, and they can happen directly. So there will be no shortage of information for the next couple of weeks. And by the way, Sunday, Tar Heels find out what bowl they're headed to and who they will play. So that's just more stuff for us to write and talk about. I'm AJ, and I'll see you tomorrow.